Hello, you're watching Times TV from Sheraton, Oman. With me right now is Wilson George. He's the chairman of the Board of Directors of Indian Schools in Oman. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Right, so firstly, I would like to know a little bit about yourself. Is this your full-time job, being the chairman, or do you also have another job?
No, this is not my full-time job. I work for Oman Oil,
Yeah.
basically in one of their refinery projects.
Okay.
The board chairman job is basically a voluntary job. Us as the whole board members and school management committee members are doing voluntary jobs.
Okay, all right. So what is it that your post as the chairman entail?
You mean what is the roles?
Yeah. What are your functions as the chairman?
Basically, the school board oversee and governs all the 19 Indian schools in Oman.
Okay.
Individually, schools have got their own school management committees, and we appoint them in the board, the committees, and they support us in governing the schools. We basically formulate policies and we do audits of what's happening, and we are ultimately responsible regarding the schools to the Ministry of Education of Oman.
Alright, so you're basically a bridge between the schools and the Ministry of Education.
We own and govern the schools and report to the Ministry of Education.
Alright, so I'm aware that very soon there are going to be elections happening for the Indian schools. So can you tell me all about that?
Now basically we have 15 board members,
Okay.
and out of that 5 members are elected from the parents of Indian school Muscat.
Right.
Okay. So that's the election you are referring to, which is happening in another few days.
Okay.
2-3 days.
Yeah.
You have people, parents applying for this as a candidate, and then we have an election commission who's conducting these elections. Board has got basically nothing to do with that election process.
Okay.
Because it's all managed by the election commission.
Right, so who is it that's going to be voting?
The parents of Indian school Muscat
Okay.
will be voting.
Alright, just Indian school Muscat parents can vote for this. And what is it that these parents, whoever gets elected, will have to do in the coming year?
Basically, they are going to be the board members when they got elected.
Okay.
And they will be part of the board and take part in the governing process of the schools.
Right. So Wilson, if I'm not wrong, this is the admission season, so to speak, right? So can you take me through the admission process?
Now we are going to open the common admission system. 10th of January we are opening. And normally we have 5,000 applications on an average these years.
Every year?
Every year.
Okay.
Only for the city schools.
Really? 5,000 students every year?
It keeps changing slightly, 4,500 to 5,300 in that range.
It's a huge number.
Huge number.
Yeah.
But in the last 3-4 years, we managed to give admission to every student who approached us for an admission.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily in their first choice. We made sure that they all get admitted into the Indian schools.
Right.
So the process starts with this opening of the system, and then
it's an online system.
It's an online system.
Okay.
The parent has to go online on the board website, and they fill up the application,
Right.
and they give their preferences, which school they would like to put their children, and there is a lot system, random draw system,
Right.
which will allot the students based on the priority which they are showing on the system.
Okay.
They put on the system.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This year also we expect the similar numbers, and we will try our best to make sure that this year also we will provide admissions to all the students.
So right now in the 19 Indian schools that you mentioned, how many students are studying?
The figure is somewhere 46,000.
Oh wow.
But this online system of admission, it's only for the city schools, the 6 schools in the city.
Okay.
The interior school doesn't need to do that.
Okay, the population is not as big.
Not only that, there is in interior places, we have only one school in one place. So parents cannot go anywhere else.
Correct.
Whereas in city schools we have 6 schools, and parents have to go around the schools and find out. So we have this unified system.
Right. So for so many students, I would also be interested to know how many teachers are there.
We have almost 2,000 teachers.
Okay.
2,000 employees in the system.
Right.
Totally. It's 1,600, 700 teaching and non-teaching all put together.
Right.
We have 2000, around 2000.
And what is the recruitment process like for the teachers?
Oh, that's a good question. In the last 4 years, we have come up with a manual, human resource manual, which stipulate the requirements of recruitment for teachers.
Right.
So in the past, I mean, there was no proper system, unified system, so people can be recruited from anywhere. But now with the new recruiting system, as per the human resource manual, which we introduced recently, you need to go for an open applications, and there has to be an interview panel.
Okay.
And the panel, who should be on the panel is specified, and based on the interview panel and also the trial classes, the interview panel should recommend the teachers, and that approval comes to the board later for getting the approval from the Ministry of Education. So every teacher who is employed in our school has to be approved by the Ministry of Education of Oman.
Oh, all right.
So it comes, and when it comes to the board, we introduced a system recently after the manual that we verify who was interviewed this teacher and what was the remarks and whether she's what is the scores of the teacher during the interview.
Yeah.
Then only we will forward it to the ministry for approval.
Right, so it's a detailed process.
It's a detailed process which we introduced in the recent past.
Okay.
I mean, I think, to be specific, in 2017 only we released this manual, and the process is there on now for 1 year.
Okay.
Before that, yes, there used to be, I mean, different procedures followed by different schools, and I mean, we have tried to cut all the flaws and remove all the flaws and make it foolproof, and that's why the manual has been released.
Right, so obviously the teachers that you've selected are very refined, I would say.
It should be. Now we'll see the result in the coming years.
Right, but I would also be very interested to know the biggest challenges that the teachers face or they've told you about.
Yeah, teachers, as any employee community, have got their own challenges. One of the biggest challenge what they face to us, the growth in the system. Unlike the other industry segments or business segments, the teachers come to the school, in the school system, there were not too many opportunities for their growth, so they are stuck in the system.
Okay.
So we have realized this challenge 4 years back when I came to the system. This was the talk, we realized, we started something called teachers forum, like parents forum.
Okay.
We started engaging with the teachers, in management teachers forums were introduced, and we started discussing with the teachers openly the issues, and these were the issues which came up as their challenge.
Right.
And what we did was we have introduced internal growth systems, wherein the board directly go and invite applications and interview them and put a list, and from the list we promote. Based on the list, we promote the existing teachers into various higher level positions.
Right, so I would also like to understand the scope of growth, because this profession is obviously limited, right? I mean, there's only...
Not necessarily.
You do not agree?
No, I don't agree, because a teacher comes into a system as a junior teacher, then she can be senior teacher, and then go as an head of department,
Okay.
go on assistant vice principal, go as vice principal, then principal. And I've seen in these years that people are growing now.
Right.
Because even last year itself, if you take, we have appointed about 11 teachers through this new initiative from the board, making it a common panel interview and then promoting them.
Right.
So 11 teachers has been now appointed as the principals, vice principals and AVPs in different schools. So I think that was one of the biggest challenge teachers face, a growth opportunity, and we have addressed it in the last 2-year period.
Right.
And they also have other issues of the cost of living has gone up in the recent years, but their salaries have not gone up proportionately in that sense. So we have, along with our human resource manual, we have an annexure which is almost getting finalized with respect to the salaries and benefits, streamlining the salaries and benefits of Indian school teachers, considering these changes in the economic side,
right,
which is under final discussion. Probably that will bring in consistency and parity across the teachers, and I believe one of the biggest challenge for the teachers to get updated with the with the market conditions.
So basically, the salary inflation proportion.
All that we are trying our level best with this new initiative which we have done. HR manual has got two parts. One is basically the requirements which talks about giving a good working environment. Second is about parity and in salary and decent salary.
So this is being addressed right now?
Yeah, first part is already released, we are applying it, and the second part is the final stage of releasing it.
Right, and I would also like to know if there is an Omanization rate that the Indian schools in Oman have to follow.
No, we have Omanization targets, and we have been doing exceptionally good in this recent years. We have around 350 teachers.
Oh wow.
Sorry, 350 employees,
Omani employees.
Assistant teachers and also other positions they are working.
Okay.
In administrative side, we have more than 70% Omanization in the administrative positions.
Right.
Teaching, we had some challenges, but we are trying to catch up with it.
Right. Yeah. So another thing that I've noticed with the Indian schools, especially in the last few years, would be schools for special needs students.
Yes.
Tell me a little more about that though.
We have given more attention to this aspect in the last 3-4 years. We have a Center for Special Education which is functioning as part of Indian School Muscat.
Okay.
We are catering to about 100 children in that, and very recently it
But these are all Indian students?
Yes, these are Indian students.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 100 students, and the center has gone for a major renovation and modernization in the last year.
Okay.
And it has become one of the best center in the entire region for the special children. We also have expanded our services from the center to other schools, in interior schools and other schools in the city. We have recently, in the month of December, last December, we opened another center in Indian school, Salala.
Okay.
So we have been doing very nice with these.
And there are trained professionals for all of these schools?
Yes, we have specialized teachers, trained teachers to take care of them, because their needs are different. They are not normal teachers which you find in the other places.
Right.
We have very dedicated, passionate teachers in those sections taking care of those children.
Right.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've learned from this conversation is there are a lot of students coming in every year, of course. Yes. So do you also have a lot of new schools opening?
Yes, we have. See, one of the major issue we had was the number of students coming into our system increased in the recent years. In large numbers, students were seeking admissions. The infrastructure was not expanding to that level. So we had to go to a shift system, wherein afternoon shift was introduced in majority of the city schools to accommodate these children, because the board has a policy that we don't want an Indian child to sit at home because there is no seat. So we are committed to that policy, and we were trying to accommodate everyone, and we have accommodated, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So, but we had to go for afternoon shift.
Okay.
So we recently started seriously taking up this challenge. In 2014, we made a paper of under different headings what we need to do. Infrastructure was one of it, and we talked about different schools, discussed about it, and we have come up with initiatives. And one of the best initiatives was the Alawabi school, which is going to come up in Alansa, which is going to accommodate 4,000 children.
Oh.
If you drive down to that area, you will see the structure which is already there. 3-floor building.
Yeah.
The construction is going on, about 65% construction is there.
But it's a part of the Indian school curriculum?
It's a part of Indian school system. It's under the board.
All right.
And it's going to be opened in 2019 April.
Yeah.
It will be accommodating. With that, we will eliminate the need of afternoon shift in our Indian schools. That will be a big relief for parents whose children are studying in the afternoon shift, because
I would agree,
they don't
yes,
like it. Yeah.
Definitely.
And also, other than that, we have a school in Saham, which is waiting for a final approval from the ministry.
Okay.
Everything has been done. The building is there, the furniture is there, based on the initial permissions, and now we are waiting for the final signature from the ministry. So we'll be starting very soon.
So to wrap it up, how many new schools are coming?
3 are actively under consideration. We have one seriously on the drawing board stage in Barka.
Okay.
And one Saham, as I said, the building is ready, and we are just waiting for. And Alansab is the biggest one, which is our prestigious one, which is coming up, which is will be in 2019.
Oh, very soon that is, yes.
Very soon it
So
will be.
finally, Wilson, I would like to ask you, what are the future plans of the board?
As you know, I have been with the board for last 4 years, 2 terms, and we had certain plans for the board. We did a few things, which is like, as I mentioned, we try to make systems and procedures so that the operations are streamlined. We focused on admissions, we focused on infrastructure, and did a lot of things. And one of the things which is very interesting, probably what we could do, I'll come to the future, because I just want to tell you what we have done so that the future
Sure.
makes sense. So the safe school transport, because
Right.
Indian schools were not having a safe school transport for the children, which we were able to make it in 5 of our schools, which
Okay.
is with highly safe school transport system.
Is this
there.
in association with Marsalat?
No, it is our own.
Independent.
It's independent.
Okay.
We took our own system, and now we have around 3,500 children utilizing this.
Right.
These all are our plans, which we planned in 2014, and partly done in first term 2016.
But coming back to safe school transport again, have you seen results?
Yes, we have seen results.
Yeah.
You must have heard about tragic accidents which has
course.
happened in the country involving children.
Yeah.
And it was a real pain, and parents were actually not knowing what to do with this, because traditionally the schools did not take any responsibility for this. So a lot of hue and cry came, and then that's why when we came in the board, I came in the board 2014, I take up this as a prestigious one, and then we started working, and it is accommodating now 3,500 children, and it's a great thing. And we also focused on the HSC side, safety of our children.
Okay.
We introduced audits in the school, safety audits. The facilities are now getting safety audits.
Yeah.
We have now HSC clubs in the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where we teach children about safety at home, safety on the road, safety at the school building.
But the accident
from
rates
building.
have gone down.
We have seen that the school system, the transport has become safer.
Okay.
For example, the child in our system, the child has to put the safety belt. If you have 30 children in the bus, we will allow only 30 children, and they will have safety belts. They have cameras.
Right.
We have IVMS in the bus, which monitor the driver's behavior. So all these things have made the travel for the children safer, and we have an attendant in the bus.
Okay.
So we have seen the results. We are seeing happy faces outside.
And not
with the
worried
parents.
faces.
Not worried faces.
Yeah.
At least we are better. So we are safer compared to the previous years.
Right.
And that's a good satisfaction for me. And coming back to the future, we have done a few of the things which I mentioned to you. We made systems. We made actually school system a bit more transparent. But we have a long way to go with respect to modernizing our campuses. We have to go we have to go for digitalization of our campuses, which is only now limited in some of the schools, good schools. So we have to make it across all our schools.
Yeah.
That is the future. And more than that, the community schools is a concept which is not very common in other parts of the Middle East or even in India.
Yeah.
These rules are run by the parents
Okay.
and the parent community and the Indian community in general. So and we are providing the cost-effective education to our children here, and the real need is to sustain and go forward.
Yeah.
So we need to have a good initiative further taken on maintaining these schools in terms of maintaining the infrastructure, because our schools are 30 years old, 20 years old, and all this reaching a
Of course,
certain
yeah.
design life. So the incoming board now for the next board term will have challenges regarding maintaining the schools, coming up with new buildings, replacement buildings and things like that. And also the biggest challenge will be to retain the schools as a community school. Because you see everywhere around, you will see private schools coming up,
course,
and the
yeah.
fees are very high also.
Yeah.
But then retaining these community schools at this fee level is a big challenge. So for that, the community need to come up. And I can see this election period, some of the candidates are coming up with some promises and this fees reduction and this that, but parents have to look at, and because this is an important season for elections also, parents have to look at the people who are approaching them to come to the board, genuinity of the people, how pragmatic, how practical they are, and also they have to choose the right people to lead them to be coming onto the board.
Of course, and the elections are on Saturday.
Elections are on 13th.
13th. All right, and all the Indian school parents are supposed to vote.
Indian school Muscat parents are going.
All right, so all the ISM parents, good luck to you. You will be voting for your board members very soon, and thank you so much for talking to us.
Very important responsibility.
It's a huge responsibility, I would agree. But thank you so much for talking to us today and joining us here at the Sheraton, and thank you for watching Times TV.
Thank you.